Hi there, Pisces. I'm EllaAradia, and welcome to your January 2026 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Pisces water signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. What I do find, though, is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Pisces signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoy this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Pisces, let's jump in. So I always like to just have a tune into the energies first before I start pulling cards, Pisces. I feel like there is something going on where there is a huge lack of clarity, and I feel like this is something that's still ongoing from last year. And there is this sense of, moving into the new year, thinking that, things will be clearer, but it just feels like they're not. And I keep saying the word trust, trust your intuition and use that as your guide, to help you kind of navigate whatever this situation is. Because the thing I just keep hearing here is sometimes the lack of clarity is actually the answer. And it feels like you're waiting for, things to be clearer, for something to shift. And sometimes that just doesn't come. And sometimes that in itself can actually be the answer. So with your overall energies, we have the Empress. So this is all about new beginnings, about growth. It's, the birth of something new, whether that's a new idea, a project, a new way that you're perhaps showing up in the world. It's some kind of invitation for a renewal, a fresh start. What lies in your recent past, the Five of Swords. It's often a card of conflict. Sometimes this can be a conflict that's inside of ourselves. Because I do feel that with your energies, I do feel there is a situation going on. There may have been conflict in this situation too, but it's also creating an inner conflict inside of yourself, I feel, around, what are your next steps forward here? Your current energies, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Whatever this situation is, Pisces, there are lessons here around knowing your worth and your value. Because for me, whenever I see the Queen of Pentacles, it's about, nurturing yourself and looking after your needs, really knowing, what you have to offer, knowing your worth and your value. Because there's some situation going on here where I feel you are not feeling that. Whatever this situation is, there is a sense of not feeling valued and appreciated. Your feelings towards your situation, death, something needs to change. There needs to be some kind of shift, because when death comes in, it's really a card of transition and transformation. It's not always a negative thing. It's all about, growth and moving into, something better in life, something better in yourself. It's all about letting go of, old versions of yourself, limiting, negative beliefs, things like that. And it really is an energy that comes in when a change is absolutely needed. So something needs to change here. For some of you, this is going to relate to a connection, because I keep feeling that. I feel like there's someone you've been involved with for a while here, and things are just, there's something about it where I just feel like they're not, showing up in the way that you need them to. Something needs to go to the next level here. And it's almost this sense for me that you're kind of waiting for your person to step up, to acknowledge, the value of the connection with you, and you as a person and what you have to bring, so in some way your needs are not being met here, which is translating to, not feeling valued and appreciated. Now, some of you, this may relate to career. The theme is the same, but it shows up in different areas of your life. There's something that, you are putting your energies into here, and you are not receiving back what you ought to be receiving back. It's not being reciprocated, whether that's a promotion that some of you are waiting on, or some kind of, offer that's kind of in the works. And for some of you, this will be a love connection, and it may well be that you have, voiced some thoughts, some feelings, expressed a desire for things to change. There may have been conflict between you and your person around this. It's also a card of cutting ties with, people, places, and situations which actually no longer serve you, which are not healthy in some way. But I do feel a little bit of a challenge here, because whatever this is, I do feel this is something or somebody that, there is caring for this person. There are these attachments, let's say. Someone that you've invested, a lot into. And sometimes, when something gets unhealthy and we've invested a lot into this person or project or whatever it is, sometimes it can be difficult to let go, because, we've invested so much, right? And I definitely feel there's some kind of choice point here, because something needs to shift with this situation. Let's just look at your challenge. So the challenge is the Seven of Pentacles. That's a card that usually comes up when we're being asked to take a pause and really look at the situation, to really, look at what you have, look at what this is. And, it's about taking stock, and it's about reevaluating, reassessing something. Let's just look at the hidden influence is the Six of Pentacles. And, this is the energies that I'm feeling here around, putting more into something than you're actually getting back. This is often the dynamics of, the give and take in a relationship or a situation. Often shows up when there is a need for, something to balance on either side. Some of you, this isn't going to resonate for all of you, but some of you might be dealing with someone where there may be a third party situation here. I'm just feeling that for some of you from this card, because you have the figure in the card there is giving to two people. And this may be, what this conflict here has been all about with the Five of Swords, because you are being asked to reevaluate this situation with the Seven of Pentacles there. But there might be a little bit of a challenge around actually looking clearly at the situation, seeing the truth of a situation, and, really taking stock here, because this is in the blockage. But yet, you know, this is what the universe, I feel, is wanting you to do in this situation. And it may well be that, like I said at the beginning, that lack of clarity here is actually an answer for you. And it may well be that for some of you, it is time to kind of move on and just follow, you know, trust your instincts, trust your intuition, even if, you know, the path ahead is not clear yet. You know, it will become clear as you move forwards. And the most important thing to do is, I think, really just trust yourself in this. Your advice from the universe, the 5 of Cups. And, you know, when I see that in the advice position, you know, it's always important to, you know, do what feels right for you. You know, tarot readings are, you know, they're always just a guide. But it does indicate to me that the universe might be saying, you know, that it might be time to just let things go, to let something fall apart. Because really it's something that isn't healthy for you. It's not really working. You know, the 5 of Cups is all about, you know, loss, regret, sadness. It's very much a card of looking back on the past. And, you know, sometimes we can get a little bit stuck in that energy. We look at what's lost, but what is left is 2 cups that are still standing. You know, there is still something that, you know, there is to be taken. There is a hidden blessing, you know, from whatever this situation is, you know, that will come to you moving forwards, that you will take from this situation, you know, whether it's letting go of an unhealthy relationship, a job that's, you know, not feeling fulfilling or satisfying, you're putting more in than you're getting back. You know, maybe that promotion for some of you went to somebody else. You know, there may have been competition in the workplace. And you know, something fell through, and that in itself is perhaps an answer. And it's definitely something that, whatever this is, you can use as a platform to really move forward in a different energy, you know. And to me, what I feel like that energy is moving forward, you know, really knowing your worth and your value and what you deserve in life, in a relationship. And just really use this situation as a platform, you know, to really stand on here moving forwards. You know, because, yeah, like they say, every cloud has a silver lining. You know, that 2 of Cups is the silver lining, which very often is, you know, those soul lessons that, you know, every situation that we have, there's always something that situation is illuminating to you. You know, it's usually a call to step up in some way, to show up differently. And I really do feel that, you know, this is your moment, Pisces. What lies in the outcome? The High Priestess. This is all about, you know, following your intuition. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of the reading. You know, and just trusting your knowing, moving forwards. And just really using that to navigate your next steps forward. Your intuition is, you know, one of the greatest gifts you can have. And I do feel like the universe is just asking you, you know, to use that moving forwards. However unclear this situation is, you know, that is one thing that you can absolutely use as a guide moving forwards. Just going to do one more. And what lies beyond that is the 8 of Pentacles. So investing, putting the work in, you know, whether that is into yourself, something new, You know, there is something positive that is going to kind of grow and come out of this whole situation. Some of you might be even learning a new skill or something like that, but it is going to lead you on a better path, whatever that is. So Pisces, I'm going to leave that there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, always trust, you know, what feels right for you moving forwards. So thanks so much for being here, and I wish you a great month ahead.